Hi everyone. So today I have with me Dr. Paras Mahajan, and I'm very proud of what he's achieved. He's secured a rank of 44 in INICET May 2022. Heartiest congratulations, Paras, and you've made us all proud. कैसा लग रहा है?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. I'm feeling very good and relieved. Like earlier when I gave the exam, I was believing that I won't get this rank, but now that the results are out, I'm very happy.
That's great. You know, वो ऐसा है पेपर देके you were getting a feeling that probably इतना अच्छा नहीं हुआ है.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know, a lot of students felt that way, but I think in the end it has turned out to be good. And this was an atypical paper, and the rank you've secured shows that you know a lot. You were able to integrate, you were able to rule out things, and you know, you've given a good paper. So congratulations.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
And Paras, मुझे you know, the idea is to for you to share your strategy जो आपको यहाँ तक लेकर आई है. So Paras has been a 4-year student with us, so it's been a long journey. So Paras, अगर मैं आपको बोलूँ कि आप अपनी इस 4 year की जर्नी को थोड़ा समराइज करो, जिसमें आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी पता लगे कि आपने शुरू में कैसे पढ़ा, इंटर्नशिप में कैसे पढ़ा, और फिर फाइनली एग्जाम के लिए कैसे रिविजन किया. सो आई थिंक दैट विल बी वेरी यूजफुल.
I joined DAMS in second year.
हाँ, देखेंगे.
And in second year I mainly like focused on making the notes of the second year and the first year subjects, and side by side I kept on reading like standard books, mainly like Robbins in pathology. So my main focus was only on making notes. I did not do any MCQs at that time. In third year again I made the notes for the third year and the final year subjects. So at that time I was doing MCQs, but not like too much. Mainly my most of the time went in reading the notes and making the notes.
Okay.
I mainly focused on like third year subjects to do them properly, and final year I only focused on final year subjects, and I did the question bank during the final year only.
Okay.
And means like I refined my notes, added few points.
Okay.
So that was my mainly strategy till final year.
Right.
So internship I was left only with revision mainly. So my main like strategy was to like revise again and again, and like side by side do the DVT.
Okay.
So I did like DVT of 2020 like throughout the internship slowly.
Yes.
And then 2022 DVT I did at the end.
Great. ठीक है. So that's wonderful, Paras. So that pretty much summarizes. So you were a very much notes person initially, है ना? And अगर आपने ध्यान से उसकी बात सुनी हो, so he was doing his notes and standard textbooks उसने corresponding year में किए हैं. So ऐसा नहीं है कि वो final year में Robbins पढ़ रहा था, final year में वो final year के standard textbooks देख रहा था, and that is the way to do it. And you know, as he said, internship में it's very difficult to go back to the textbooks. So it's always good कि अगर आपके पास अपने notes हो जिनको आप rapidly बार revise कर पाओ. That's a good idea. Paras, when did you start giving grant tests? आपने MCQ practice तो आपने बोला आपने final year में शुरू किया. Grant test कब शुरू किया बेटा?
I started giving like in the mid of the final year.
Okay.
But I gave only like 6 to 7 grant tests in the final year.
All right.
Mainly I gave the grant test then in internship only.
Okay.
So I gave around 30 to 40 grant tests in the internship.
That's great.
So
and Paras, मुझे ये भी आपसे जानना है कि जब आपने grant test देना शुरू किया, at that time what was the number of correct questions? And finally now close to the exam, what was the number of correct questions?
Like when I started they were mainly of 300 question pattern.
Yes.
So I used to get around like 200 correct or 210 correct out of 300 at that time. So slowly they kept on increasing, like means mainly I started getting around like out of 200 I started getting around 160 correct like in the January February wonderful. This year.
And what do you think is the approximate number of correct in INICET?
INICET, I haven't reviewed the whole paper.
Okay.
But
Any
I believe
tentative number that
155 to 160 mostly.
I'm sure it must have been. Yes. So it was pretty much matching what you had reached in your grant test as well. Great. Or Paras, I want to ask you बेटा कि आप analysis like in internship you were also doing the TND है ना? So सारे टेस्ट पेपर्स का एनालिसिस कैसे करते थे? ग्रांट टेस्ट हो या TND का पेपर हो?
Grant test I like try to analyze on the same day, maximum on the next day.
Okay.
So I used to like means initially I used to analyze all the 300 question, but as I approached till December, January, then I started mainly analyzing my like wrong and skipped questions, or those questions which I have guessed. So at TND I used to attend the classes. I actually attended the TND in final year only. So I made the notes and I went through those notes only again in internship.
So that was one advantage that you jaldi shuru karne ke liye, I mean, because you started early, you could accelerate things, and I think usse thoda sa internship mein aapko ease mila because he's from Safdarjung and the internship is heavy. So I think he already had that in mind and accordingly usne accelerate kiya pace. Right. So Paras, also बच्चे इस INIT के लिए, can you tell us exactly what do you think? You've already told us the number of correct. How many questions did you attempt? Can you give us something specific for students who would be preparing for November INI? Anything special that you want to say that people should include and do?
I attempted around 195 questions.
Okay.
So I always believe that if you have to be in the game, so you have to attempt 195 plus questions.
That's right.
So means this paper was atypical, but mainly INICET focuses on the previous year questions mostly, previous year topics to be precise. So strategy should always be notes plus previous year questions. And last month and last 10 days they matter the most.
Yeah.
So in last 10 days you should be able to revise like 80 to 90% of your syllabus.
Okay. तो आपने कहाँ से किया था वो रिवीजन या कैसे किया था?
I believe that in last 10 days you have to study for 15 hours per day.
Okay.
And in those 15 hours you finish at least 2 to 3 subjects. Like that varies depending on the minor and major subjects.
Okay.
And then you can, and plus you keep on revising your previous year which you have done earlier.
Right.
If you haven't done earlier, then still go through like 2 to 3 years papers. But at least if you can go through 5 years paper, that will be very helpful in like INICET.
Right. And अच्छा हाँ बोलो, आप कुछ बोल रहे हो?
Like I did not went through the PG and the JIPMER previous year.
Okay.
But they should have been helpful seeing the paper, like it was mostly like seen like it was set by the PG and JIPMER.
Yes.
There was heavy genetics and many factual based questions.
And new updates as well in the paper.
Yes.
Right. So Paras, also आपने बोला कि end में you were trying to do a very rapid revision. So उसमें if I think like a student, something that comes to my mind is, were you doing selective revision or were you reading the entire thing? Because a lot of students have this query.
Mainly selective revision. It's not possible to go through the whole notes. Means mainly I was focusing on the previous year topics.
All right.
And like topics around them.
Yes.
So that is you should be familiarized with the notes so that you can go through them again, quickly in the end. Yes,
I think so, very important advice, and the most important advice. When you start, जब आप preparation शुरू करते हो, it has to be very broad. But as you approach close to the exam, you have to go selective. And his way of going selective was going through the papers, test papers, or the PYQs, because they tell you what is what is the pattern and what topics are they fond of asking. So whenever in doubt how to go selective, always use your test papers and PYQs. And when we say that, we mean revise that topic from the notes. That is what he was doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. All right. And Paras, अभी एग्जाम जब दे रहे थे तो क्या ऐसा लगा था कि बीच में मुझे ये भी नहीं आता, तो how did you calm yourself and how did you maintain the I would say the concentration that was required for the paper?
Ma'am, I attempted around 130 question in the first go in like 2 hours.
Okay.
In the last hour went through the mark for the review question.
Okay.
So those marked for review were mainly like I was confused or either I did not know them.
Yes.
So like you will always feel, because there will be some questions like this in the exam.
True.
So you have to keep your calm in the exam and like keep on doing, and just don't lose the focus, because if you lose focus, there were many tricky questions also in this INICET. So if you lose the focus, you will get them wrong and that will cost you the rank. So just get the easy ones and the previous year ones repeats correct and you will definitely get a rank.
That's wonderful. And abhi na NEET PG aa raha hai, Paras, within a week's time. And I know Paras is also going to give it, but still I'll ask you, Paras, what strategy do you think should we have for the last 1 week, beta?
I would advise like go through DVT and plus notes. It's like more you can do, it's good. Like whatever you can do, it's good. But mainly go through your notes. Don't start anything new. That I would say.
Yes.
Go through previous year. Previous year are not that important in NEET.
Yes.
But still means just know at least the answers of the previous year. Sometimes the same question is repeated, and we should not get that incorrect. So mainly is DVT and notes, and I am also going to follow the same thing.
Yes, I'm sure you're going to do well, Paras. And Paras, what branch do you want to pursue, beta?
I not yet completely decided, but mainly medical branches.
Medical branch, that's fair. So he wants to take his time to decide, which is absolutely okay. And Paras, towards the end, would you want to tell something motivating or something very unique as far as strategy is concerned? Kuch bhi, jo bhi aapka man ho, which you feel has worked for you and will probably work for others as well.
I would say that when you are like preparing for the exam, so there will be days when which will be not be that productive. So don't feel disheartened. This happens with everybody. So it happened with me also. Like they were like at a stretch days which were not productive, and especially when you are doing internship. So don't feel disheartened. Just keep on doing something for every day. Like little bit also. If you do every day, it will like help you in the end. That I would say, and just believe in you. So that's the main strategy.
That's a wonderful piece of advice again. I wish you the best, Paras, for upcoming NEET also, for your counseling also. And these bachas have scored so well, but because ek aur exam aa raha, they're not able to relax, but it's just a week's time. So keep your calm and do whatever you're doing great, Paras.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
All the very best, and thank you so much for making us a part of your journey.
Thank you, ma'am.
God bless you, beta.